Told that the breaking news at this moment is that Pradeep Gupta has reached the India Today Mediaplex. He'll be here with us in just a moment. Rajdeep's put on his dancing shoe. We're very, very close to the exact exit poll. Remember, as far as polling goes, it can't get better than this. We predicted that AAP would sweep Punjab. It has. We predicted that BJP would sweep. I spoke to some of the senior most BJP leaders. Don't want to name anyone, but even they were talking about 230, 240, 250. This is much more than the BJP was saying, which they thought would be the end outcome. So this is phenomenal as far as psephology, polling, data science is concerned. We predicted a BJP sweep in Manipur, which is exactly what's happened. We said, despite everybody else, including some in the BJP thinking that the BJP would trail in Uttarakhand, we said that the BJP would be comfortably placed in Uttarakhand, which is exactly what's happened. And then in Goa, okay, so that's within the range, directionally complicated state, but 18-12. But give him some credit. He's now, I'm told, on the way to the Mediaplex, and he's in the Mediaplex on the way to our studio. So we'll have Pradeep Gupta with us in just a moment. In some senses, Sandeep Shastri, redemption and vindication.
I think, as you said, some of the key states, the exit poll has been bang on target. And I think even yesterday, Pradeep ji conceded that Goa was a challenge because of the tight fight. And there may have been a small difference in terms of what the exit poll said and what the results seem to be indicating. Though, of course, in Goa, still the fight is on and we don't know where it will finally end.
No, I think it's pretty certain. I think now I'm getting numbers which suggest, you see,
just a small point. In Goa, election is significant for BJP because this is post-Parikar election.
Sure.
Parikar has tallest personality in Goa.
So half the BJP candidates in Goa have shady reputations and dubious backgrounds, and look at the kind of criminal cases they have. So it's not
I'm just giving that the leadership of Parikar and post-Parikar election, the BJP has consolidated its position in Goa. That is the.
No, I'll give you the vote share, and it's very interesting. The BJP is virtually at an identical vote share what they got last time, 33. The Congress has fallen to 23, and who's taken that vote? AAP has got 5.37%. Trinamool Congress, sorry, AAP has got 7%. Trinamool Congress has got 5%. So the two parties.
No, it is
No. MGP is separate. MGP has got 8.13%. So MGP was expected to do well. MGP has got 8.13%, Trinamool Congress 5.37%, AAP 7.07%. Clearly the anti-BJP vote has got divided. People are looking for options to the Congress.
And that is a question that the bulk of the vote transfer from the Congress has gone to the others, which is at 21.
Can I for a moment look at Manipur, just for a moment, because I think and Rajat is with us, who's worked with the Manipur Chief Minister. Biren Singh, former footballer, played for BSF, said his greatest moment in life was not becoming Chief Minister, but winning the Durand Cup. Defeating East Bengal or Mohan Bagan, one of them in the Durand Cup, he said was the greatest moment of my life. Was a fullback. Well, he's proved to be quite a fullback this time, because what you've got is the BJP as of now, Rajat, leading in 32 out of 60. This is history. The party never won a majority in Manipur. We tend to ignore the state of Manipur. The Congress down to just 6. The mighty Congress, Rahul, which won 15 years in a row under Ibobi Singh, down to 6. Others 22, and those others include Congress, Sangmas, NPP. Yes.
So, I think this is where what Rahul Kamal was mentioning earlier in the morning, that you can campaign in poetry, but you have to govern in prose. What Biren Singh, he's son of the soil, he's been an ex-editor. He's really fought for the causes of the Manipur people, and he ensured some seemingly impossible things. He delivered those. He delivered ILP. Inner line permit was something which was so sacrosanct for the people of Manipur, because they believed that protecting these real micro-minorities of India through some level of constitutional safeguard, which only perhaps the BJP could give.
He was an ex-congressman. He left the Congress 3 months before the 2017 elections.
It was exactly on these grounds that Chief Minister Biren Singh, he felt that Congress, in spite of being in power in centre and in the state, was not delivering on the fundamental issues that concern the people of Manipur and the Meitei community, which was ILP, which was dealing with
as you travel through the northeast, and we had a couple of opportunities to travel, the one thing that you pick up is that corruption is much lesser. Money was always going from the center to the northeast, never effectively deployed and channelized. Now, in better road, infrastructure, you can actually see the money from Delhi being put to good use in the northeast. Aviation connections, airports, roadways, far better. in a way that the BJP now dominates the Northeast in states where it was virtually non-existent a few years
And I think the reason behind it is that there was a transactional relationship between the leadership in the Northeast and the leadership in Delhi. They felt that paisa de diya, wahan pe leader aayenge, they'll fill the kitty of the national leaders here, and that's it. What BJP did was that they made it a point that these ministers in center actually travel to these states. And I
Mr.
think
Gupta is here. That's the moment we were
Pradeep
waiting
Gupta about to come in his new jacket that he just bought from Connaught Place. So he's coming on his way. Pradeep, has he been mic'd up? Have we mic'd up the man? Okay, we'll wait to mic him up. In the meantime, the BJP at 273 in UP, which is an enormous victory for the BJP. Not quite 300 yet, as I said. They're probably going to fall short of that magic number, but it's still a huge... So it's a loss of 51.
Your friend Patricia Mukim sent me message that
Yes, my friend. Okay. Yes, she is my friend.
She's also my friend. After her advice, I adopted a village in Manipur,
Yes.
Meghalaya. She said that why don't you discuss Manipur in length, because the election result in Manipur is very significant now. We should not neglect Northeast just as a footnotes in the election discussion.
No, we've done more discussion on
what I think in Manipur, northeastern states.
Chalo, I'll do it for you to make you
no,
feel.
just let me
Sinha Saab, aapne bada acha bola. I know what all these websites will do. But go ahead in the meantime.
Look, the Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited 40 times in northeastern states. 40, more than 40. And
in the last 7 years.
Most of the cabinet ministers have visited northeastern states frequently. That is not for the vote only.
I'll add, even in the campaign, let me tell you, Amit Shah ji went 4 times, Nadda ji went 7 times.
And Northeastern Council has been working very handsomely.
Sure. No, I agree. In fact, I was once asked what are Mr. Modi's achievements, top 3, and one of them I said the outreach to the Northeast. And I do believe that that's worked. Let's look at regions, outer and inner Manipur. Now, if you want to understand, and Rajat will know better, outer Manipur is basically the hill areas. Here the BJP has got 9, others 12. Now there are those who believe the BJP has made compromises with some of the militant groups there to win elections, but it has brought peace to the area, no doubt about it. Inner Manipur is of course the area around Imphal, and that's been swept, the Meitei dominated areas, 23 to the BJP, the Congress winning just 6 and others are at 10. Let's take a look at the seats, because I want to look at alliances. There were alliances that were there, the Congress, BJP, others. If I can look party-wise, the only reason I wanted to, you looked at this party-wise is because some of the small parties included Conrad Sangma's NPP. As you can see, the BJP well ahead of the others. Just a quick look at the VIP. Just one last thing, Rahul. Let's see what Ibobi Singh, Okram Ibobi Singh is a 3-time chief minister. He is leading in his constituency. What about N. Biren Singh, chief minister, who's likely now to position himself to become chief minister again? Is he winning?
He's leading.
Sure he is. So therefore, you've got the incumbents there leading, and in a way, Joy Kumar Singh, he's the leader of the NPP.
Trailing.
He's trailing. So that's a big setback to Conrad's party. He hoped to play kingmaker, and that's not happening.
Can we just get the election intelligence dashboard to go down back into the ground, please? And can we cut to the long camera?
Konark Sangma's interest is not in the seats, but in the votes. So that is a status of national party should remain intact.
Right.
Okay, there's a big moment coming up. Can we have everyone's attention, please, as I now want to call into the India Today newsroom the man of the moment. You know, of course, there's Yogi Adityanath, there's Arvind Kejriwal, Bhagwant Mann, the Prime Minister himself leading the charge for the BJP, a huge moment for him and his party. But our man of the moment, Pradeep Gupta. Can we have a round of applause, please, as we call Pradeep to the studio. This is quite phenomenal.
New jacket also.
To have been able to pull off the victory in the way that he has.
I've been working for...
You've got Dawn music playing for you. Kahan se aaya main hu Dawn. Kya baat?
Let me answer first to Rajdeep about my jacket.
Yes.
It is sponsored by Raymond. I have been supplying them the packaging material about from
So he's
last
now
20
doing a
years.
commercial gig also.
They said, Pradeep, nothing doing. You don't buy, but we will give you. I said, fine, de do.
So like Shah Rukh Khan and Salman, you have brand endorsements.
Can I ask my producer to raise the music level? Something wrong with my audio.
Do you hear the music?
Don't tell me, don't.
Come on, you promised that Rajdeep is dancing. Come on.
I'll tell you.
Embarrassing. Preeti is embarrassed. Now, let's see your moves, yeah.
Rajdeep, my problem is that since last time BJP walas are saying
Rahul, very nice.
you are only dancing when AAP is winning, and this
No,
time
now
also
BJP
they
is
may
won.
say
Where is
so.
AAP won?
BJP has won. Let me see your best move.
Come on, Pradeep.
What,
He's been practicing. I'm
Because
telling you he's practicing.
come on.
Oh my God.
That's Pradeep's move.
Rajdeep, where's yours? Rajdeep also got it. Good
I
luck.
can't match Pradeep.
Who's the better dancer? Preeti, who turned out to be the better dancer?
He's a
Why don't you
natural
also
dancer.
join in, Rahul?
Come on, Rahul, join
No,
us.
no, I have two left feet. You
Rahul
see,
is going diving with Rahul Gandhi.
yeah, I'm running.
But you are dancing for BJP victory or AAP victory?
I am dancing. 1 minute. 1 minute. You must listen to my answer.
Yes.
I am dancing because Pradeep Gupta, who got it wrong in Bengal, has proved that a good pollster may have a bad election, but will always have a good day round the corner. You've done fantastically well. Most of your polls, except for my state of Goa, are bang on.
Goa also we have given BJP as high as 18, and it is 18 at this point of time. That let's
No,
see.
but look at what's at
We
play.
have given 18.
So I am dancing in case you want to know why. Because I think pollsters deserve a lot of credit. We get a lot of flack when they get it wrong, when they get it right, and we go through a lot of tension. That's why I'm dancing for you.
But
you are the man of the match.
But let me,
Now he's starting to cry.
Now he's
Why are
going
you
to cry.
getting emotional? Come on, Pradeep. What's there to cry in this? Well done. Good
No,
job.
because he was under a lot of tension.
He was.
This time, you know, he told me when I sent him a message on Saturday, he said, "Is baar mujhe phone dada karna mat until 6 o'clock on the exit poll day." Right or wrong? Right or wrong?
I must reveal to our viewers that Pradeep is now part of a Harvard Business School case study on polling, and he has a flight booked to Boston. And if he got it wrong, he said, "मैं नहीं जाऊँगा." So there's a lot at stake personally and professionally. Everyone who's watching, if he got it wrong, he said, "मैं जाऊँगा ही नहीं."
But you agree there was a lot of tension. Was this a difficult?
You can see the tension is still on his face.
Because of what happened in Bengal in particular, were you under tension?
I mean, Rajdeep, we also, like in cricketing term, every election is a series for us. Every election is a series for us. And you try, you play, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and you learn from the mistakes and moves on.
No, it also shows, Rajdeep, how if networks put data analytics and research as a priority and actually allow for good polling, scientific polling, not jiggery pokery coming out of a black box, but scientific polling, 49 times out of 53, you get it right. Or if you add actually, if you see right now what's happening, and Pradeep predicted a sweep for the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab.
90
Everyone else was confused. All the Punjab reporters were confused. They said, nahi, hung hai. They can't win. We predicted that AAP would win in Punjab, they have. We predicted that BJP would sweep Uttar Pradesh,
And
which
this is
is
a sweep.
exactly what has happened. And more so than what the BJP themselves were thinking. BJP was thinking 220, 230, 240. We said it's much bigger, which is exactly how it's shaped up.
What I do believe, and I think viewers need to recognize this. I had the privilege of working with the great Prannoy Roy in the days when index of opposition unity was the basis for psephology. Then we had the era where the likes of Yogendra Yadav did a lot of social studies along with the number crunching. And now we've got Pradeep, who's taken it to another level, I believe, by actually going to every constituency. From random sampling, we've gone to every constituency. Pradeep will correct me if I'm wrong, that even in a state like Goa, when there are 40 constituencies small, he's gone and had the courage. I would never have the courage of predicting Goa. I was pretty certain in Goa that, you know, it's not easy to predict an election there.
No, but look at a small state like Manipur as well.
Outstanding.
He predicted that in Manipur, the BJP would do well. He predicted that the...
No, not just well. He gave them 32 to 38. They've got 33.
And in Uttarakhand too, that the BJP would be between 36 and 46. When it comes to polling, when it comes to analytics on a seat-by-seat basis, this takes serious talent.
Which was the most difficult state for you this time?
This time was Uttarakhand.
Uttarakhand.
Why?
Why? Sorry.
Hills and plain. There is a fight between hills and plain. It is difficult.
Garhwal versus Kumaon.
Yeah, and it is difficult to find respondent in hilly areas, and they are in in hills with 2, 3, 5 households. You go there and they are not willing to talk to you, and then you come empty hands.
And then you've got to go to another
area, and it takes a lot of time.
Right.
It takes a lot of time. 10
Very
kilometers, 10, 20 kilometers take 2 to 3
Why
hours.
has the BJP done better in Uttar Pradesh than most BJP people were thinking?
The three things, as I've been telling, the ration, when we say ration, is just the terminology we use, but it's the welfare
Pradeep,
schemes,
sit while you're
delivery of welfare schemes of particularly Modi government from central, and law and order situation in better law and order in Uttar Pradesh of Yogi government. So we say ration prashashan, and the biggest beneficiary demographically, the chunk of women, which contributes 50%.
You caught that trend, which was significant. The fact that women were voting for the BJP much more than men were. That's one of the reasons why the BJP is won as big as it has.
And very important thing I want to tell everybody, the viewers, the analysts over here, you, everybody, you will find all five states, this time our vote share is matching bang on. Vote share now not going to change. Seats may go here and there by the evening, bang on. And in all smaller parties also, seat by seat also, you will find this time our accuracy going to be more than 90%.
More than 90%?
90%, seat by seat, I am telling you. In
And
Punjab,
I think what has happened, and this is where, it's like, since we use cricket analogies so much, you may get out once, you get out twice to the same shot, then you make sure that you don't get out at least to the same shot. In Pradeep's case, it is the woman voter. He will remember in Bihar, we had a conversation, and I believed he hadn't polled women enough. He went to Bengal, possibly made the same mistake that the women underpolled, the fear factor could have been there, and that meant that his Bengal polled right. This time he went specifically, addressed that woman factor, and has actually been able to gauge the sentiments of women. If there is one running theme, Rahul, through all these states, we will find it in a post-poll. Women have outpolled men, not just in percentage term, but also in how much they voted for the BJP.
Since we work so closely with Pradeep, I'll let you into a secret. This is the weakness in his model. So if you're looking at where he gets it right and what could potentially go wrong, I don't know if Pradeep wants me to say this on TV or not, but it's important because, as I said, it's not black magic or jigri pokri or some kind of a satta. This is serious science. The weakness is, if it's a two-phase election, or say a three-phase election, and he's expected to put out his predictions right after the last phase gets over, which is what, say, a TV channel would want, and the vote share on which the projection is being done is less than the actual vote share. Sometimes, for example, you're told at 5 p.m. that the vote share will be 62%, so you say it will be 64 because you assume it will go up a little bit, but in the end, if it ends up, say, above 71, as it does in some cases, then there's a 5 or 6% gap between the base on which the prediction is made and the actual voting percentage at which polling ended. And therefore, in that 6%, if the trend is different from the trend line in the sample data, there could be a change, which is where that model can potentially go wrong. So I don't know what the immediate answer is because television requires results to be put out immediately, but that is potentially where the model that he's built with so much effort could unravel.
I thought Pradeep today gave us an interesting insight because on Uttarakhand, we look at a state, these are constituencies that are small but very spread out. To go to a hill station, say 5,000 meters up, find only 2 families, then look for another is very, very difficult. Pradeep, you are getting emotional. Kabhi kabhi rona chahiye. Pushpa, I hate tears. Pradeep, I hate tears. But tell me the pressures. When you get it wrong, people say, "Arey Pradeep Gupta ne big kiya ye wo." You've heard that, we've heard it. Today, therefore, those tears must be coming from that. This feeling that, look, I try to do a professional job. Sometimes I get it right. More often than not, I get it right.
Sometimes 90% you get it right, Rajdeep.
Am I correct?
Not sometimes.
It's not easy. Have you ever thought कि यार कुछ और करते हैं?
You're going to make him cry now.
अरे वो रो रहा है, मैं उसको रुलवाऊंगा. No, because I know what he went through. I rang him up, Preeti, on Saturday ahead of the exit poll, and he said, "Dada, aaj chhod do." Because he didn't want to get under any pressure of what the numbers could be. Pradeep, you want to tell us what it's been the last few days like?
Very difficult. In fact,
Here.
I was just looking at Pradeep's, the exit poll accuracy is 93%. So if you look at since the time we started polling with Pradeep, 93% of the time he gets it right. He just said that of the seat-by-seat analysis that he's doing, in 90% of the seats, he's right. That is just phenomenal accuracy. Itna kyun ro rahe ho, bhai?
Will there be a new CM?
So he's got like celebrity brand endorsements. Companies are saying, "Mere kapde pehen ke jao." This is not bad. You got a good thing going, Pradeep.
Yes, I mean, last 1 month was been very difficult. In fact, I've been telling everybody that this election is
Because 19, is it 19?
going to be turning point for me.
Were you serious that if you got it wrong, you would have stopped polling?
Yes.
Yeah, मेरे को लगा आपने emotion में ही बोल दिया ऐसे.
No. I mean, if you cannot get right, then what's the point? What's the point? If you are doing and delivering something, and if your product doesn't have the credibility and two, the quality, then what's the point?
No, and extra pressure because there's a Harvard Business School case study going. He's the object of the case study, and then if you get it wrong, then everybody's also pulling your leg, and it makes it that much.
So Harvard Business School is teaching the students how polling should be done, how forecasting should be made, how prediction should be, and if you go back of it wrong, then what's the point? We are teaching students the wrong thing. That's the pressure.
But also for those who study polling, his is not a random sample poll. He's looking at areas, Sandeep Shastri, and that's the difference between what you do at CSDS, Lokniti, and what he's doing. He's going seat to seat. CSDS does a more detailed poll, but in fewer seats with fewer voters. This is a much larger sample, 1,20,000. Plus, where they know that, for example, if it's a Muslim-dominated constituency, they're not polling as extensively, they're picking where to go. So the seats aren't randomly sampled. The seats are sampled at these, which is a bit like what American pollsters do, where you know which are the red and the blue states, you know where you need to go, and you focus on understanding what's happening in the seats which are in play, rather than going on seats which are already determined on either side.
As we have been discussing, these are two different ways of doing the analysis. Pradeep ji has chosen a particular way, which is possibly the more difficult way, where you go constituency by constituency and do projections of each constituency. And I think over time he has, in a way, mastered the art of being able to understand the nuances in each constituency. And even if you look at what all he has been telling us since he came on the exit poll day, I think the fine-tuning in each constituency that he has done is what has resulted in the type of accuracy that he has come up with. And of course, I think all compliments to you for the hard work of your team for having achieved what you have today.
And Rahul,
before you speak, I add one thing. You know, the cephalology is in evolving stage in India. And what Pradeep Gupta ji is doing is a very scientific, that in a country where much diversity exists, their sampling has chance that you may result in a wrong conclusion. So he covered all the constituency, and not only that, larger type of sampling. The most important thing that understanding the psychology of the person you are talking. Because the person who is praising some leader and not voting that leader, you have to find out what he really means by his statement. So I think his understanding and the method is getting institutionalized, and I think that is a evolved stage of
other pollsters also have now switched to the seat-by-seat polling, which earlier people thought was crazy or it's not the way to do it. Now everybody is doing the same thing, so you have many copycats.
I just want to tell you, here the election is one thing, but what we do is the research study, and what we are trying to study is needs of the people at large. Please understand, needs of the people at large. Needs drive the decision making, the choices you make, whether it's the consumption of any products, party you elect or select to vote for, or anything in your life, in your daily life, day-to-day life. So we try and understand needs of the people, what drives them to make the decision making and how they are making the decision. This is what is our study point, and that is the reason why, let me tell you, out of total 600,000, which is 6 lakh villages, and 6,000 cities and towns of the country, if you come to our office, we can tell you in 3 lakh villages, what is the problem? Where is the electricity problem? Where is the road problem? Where is the leakage in water tank? Where is the garbage collection problem? There is no hospital, and if there is hospital, if doctor is not there or the medicines are not there. So we try and understand their needs and analyze them and forward it to the right stakeholder. They are going to take the cognizance of the situation and right measure. And this is what we say, connecting India to build India. That's our motto.
It also puts pressure because once you get it right with the kind of accuracy that India today has been getting these polls right, you almost become like the oracle of politics. So people are expecting that Pradeep will tell you exactly what's happening, which is a bit dangerous because he's having to turn his phone off and say, my phone mute us, because everybody's calling wanting to know who's winning. So it's fantastic. Now tell me a couple of things, Pradeep. One, a lot of talk about how because the BJP's won 2022, 2024 is now a cakewalk. Do you buy that, or do you think that's not a right conclusion to draw?
We'll have to wait and see how the challenges emerged. That is also important. And the other side, how the incumbent perform here onwards. You know, we have seen sometime BJP lost very badly during 2018 assembly elections, particularly of Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan. And after 4 months, there was general election and BJP emerged victorious, and victorious in a big way. So at times, you know, we need to understand the situation. The government, the party should not be complacent, and they do whatever they've been doing, then there is no problem.
Let's just look at some of these numbers that we have, you know, particularly Uttar Pradesh. If we can for a moment try and give our viewers a sense of how UP has actually voted. 270 is a huge win in India's most populous state. Let's look at it region by region. We'll go vote share. Purvanchal vote share, 13% is BSP, 34% is SP, BJP 42%. And we'll say, you know, this is which was perhaps the most competitive area. Purvanchal turned out to be the most competitive area, Eastern UP. That's why many people who went to Purvanchal saw that element of competition, including Preeti Chaudhary, who was traveling through Gorakhpur and other parts. This was competitive. But when it went into seats, you will see how it translated. In terms of seats in Purvanchal, that's where you will see that when you have an 8% lead in a bipolar race, it gives you the party which has that lead. Okay, let's look at the Awadh vote share. So we look at vote share first, because that gives you a sense. Here the BJP in its gud, in its fortress, areas around Lucknow, Barabanki, Ayodhya, this area, the gap was about 6%, which again, many would say reflects, and the Samajwadi Party came up here. The polarization meant the Samajwadi Party's had its best ever performance in Awadh, but not good enough. Bundelkhand, the poorer part, areas around Jhansi, the heart, here clean sweep. And this is why one of the talking points will be the poorer areas seem to vote even more strongly for the BJP. Was it Labharti politics, ration working very effectively, is something that we'll have to discuss. And then we look at Western UP, which was in a way seen to be where the Samajwadi Party had to pick up momentum. Here the BJP has a 9% lead. So the BJP's lowest lead, it turns out, was in Eastern UP. And in Western UP, despite this large coalition, they were able to best back the BJP. Preeti, this is what has surprised you, right? You traveled a lot through Western UP, Baghpat, Muzaffarnagar, Meerut. The Samajwadi Party, RLD, have done reasonably well, but not well enough.
I think the RLD would think it's done reasonably well if it gets about 10 seats. Then I think the RLD would think it's done reasonably well.
That's Jayant Chaudhary's party.
That is Jayant Chaudhary's party. But I don't think that vote transfer has happened, which is what I was also fearing when we were covering.
Just look at how it's translated into seats. And Pradeep, you might want to explain this. 90 plays 46, almost 2, and all have been blanked out, including the once mighty Mayawati of the BSP, who comes from Western UP. I just wanted to understand, Pradeep, when you are the challenge for a pollster is not just about getting vote share, but translating that into seats. That's the nightmare. How do you do it?
So that's the reason why we go to seats here. So we never face that kind of nightmare.
So you don't get into any issue of translating vote share into seats because you're going to every seat.
And we analyze every seat as if as the full.
And your sample size for every seat in UP 200,
300.
300 per seat.
Yeah, that's why it is total making out to 1,21,000 this time.
Wow, fantastic. As many WhatsApp groups that the BJP has, Pradeep went to that many voters. The BJP very good at booth level with its Panna Pramukhs, its block Pramukhs, its Shakti Kendras and Mandals. Let's turn now to Awadh and take a look at how the seats translated in the Awadh area. What were the seats that they got in Awadh? This is of course the vote share. How did it translate in UP Awadh into seats? And take a look at what is happening in terms of the seats here. 77-32. So again, 2:1, more than 2:1. This was of course, as I keep saying, a fortress for the BJP. The BJP expected to do well. And then the final area that I want to come to is in Purvanchal. Because the competition here was the most severe, the most serious in terms of the fact that you had a caste alliance stitched together. Lots of smaller parties, Nishads, Rajbhars, Nonias, all were there on the side of the Samajwadi Party. How did it actually work out? 48 played 84. Congress won 1 year, others 3, BSP 3. So, you know, in a sense, there isn't a single region where the BJP is behind. It's dominated Uttar Pradesh today across region. This is a pan-region sweep, which is the only way to describe what happened in Uttar Pradesh. Can we quickly look at Punjab? And particularly in Punjab, look at Malwa. Because the story within a story is, as I keep reiterating, Delhi of 2015 has been repeated in Malwa of 2022. 91 seats, of course, is the overall number in Punjab. And there is Bhagwant Mann laughing his way, Channi looking depressed, Sukhbir Singh Badal wondering ki ye Badal kahan se aa gaye, and Nadda ji with Amrinder Singh also looking not very happy. Majha at the moment, okay, we are not getting okay, there you have it, 38% to AAP, 11% lead here, huge lead over the Congress. The Akalis are the ones who got 24% here, but clearly were well behind. So you have a double-digit lead in Majha. Can I look at Malwa for a moment? When we look at Malwa, and this is areas around Patiala, Sangrur, 47 place 20. This is a smash. This is a 26% lead. In fact, the Akalis have done slightly better than the Congress in terms of vote share. So that Dera vote may have got translated in some places.
No. Rajdeep, they are very strong in area like Bhatinda. That's their stronghold.
They're pockets.
There is
But
nothing like
Rajdeep,
Dera and all
Pradeep
that.
Gupta has an important point based on the data, because a lot of punditry was about how the Dera vote got switched en masse from one to the other. Pradeep's point is that you no longer are in a country where the Dera chief can say vote for X, Y or Z. People apply their own mind. They may differentially tell you that yes, we will do what you say, but ultimately they will do what they want. And even within families, the whole idea that Mukhya can move the vote of the village, that's not true.
That's
People
not
have their own agency, they apply their own mind and they do what they think is right. That's an important trend out of the data.
Yes, 100%, Rahul. In fact, I keeps on telling to all the leaders, they always say कि उस leader ने अपने vote इधर transfer कर दिए, उधर transfer कर दिए. I keeps on saying, boss, वो ज़माने गए जब जमींदार एक आंख दिखा देता तो पूरा गांव एक तरफ करता था. आज आपके बच्चे आपकी बात नहीं सुनते हैं तो जमींदार की क्या बात?
Very interesting. Let's look at Doaba. Because this was the belt as a Doaba between the two rivers.
Malwa seats here.
Yeah, we'll come to the seat share. Doaba 29 place 24. So 31 place 29. So this is where the Congress